Brothers, I'm not even supposed to be here today, but the firstborn are getting called again. Let's talk about it. We're gonna have to cut stuff from our army list. I can't believe it. Alright, let's get into this video. So, I've just been making some new lists in my app the other day. I was actually making a vindication list that included the Death Company. We may actually go there, but this was a list that I've been running for a while, and I know that Auspex Tactics put out a video today saying that Blood Angels basically suck and we've got a 40% win rate, but I don't buy that. I mean, yes, maybe we do have a 40% win rate at tournaments, but I think a lot of people are struggling to adapt to what Blood Angels need to be playing right now, and what we need to be playing right now is a ton of armor. And this was my list that had a ton of armor. We had Tycho in a Rhino with a command squad. We also had 3 Blade Guard veterans, we had 10 Jump Marines with a chaplain, and they were starting in reserve. We had the Tech Marine, then we had a Lancer and Cursors that were also in the Repulsor with those Blade Guard. We had 2 Predator Destructors and 2 Vindicators, and then obviously in there as well, we have the Land Speeder, because the Land Speeder can buff the Vindicator. It's so sad. I mean, there's so much to say about more firstborn getting cut. I've basically lost half my painted units almost inside the last 2 months. So it's a pretty difficult pill to swallow. But like looking at this, right, with Tycho was good with command squad. I think if you remove the command squad, which happened today, I don't know if I'm running Tycho anymore. So, I mean, I was saving this list because this was the strongest list we could run. I guess I'm getting rid of the command squad. That's them gone. Assault squad with jump packs. Well, they're cut now. There's no point playing. I'm not playing cut units. I'm also not painting cut units because I only play competitively. So when they cut units, it really messes with me because I paint. I don't know. I think the thing that has annoyed me the most about these changes is like they should have just announced it all at once, because I've spent the last, I don't know, since 10th edition came out, like 6 weeks or something, working on my command squad, converting my assault squad to have eviscerators, you know, working on a firstborn chaplain. Well, all this stuff is now legends. Next time, just tell us all the legend stuff up front. Like, this is just ridiculous. So I have to remove my 10-man assault squad, because they're not really playable anymore. And I guess I have to remove my land speeder. I mean, that was a cool combination that you had with the Vindicators. So in some ways this makes my list easier because I wanted to add a Death Company Dreadnought. I guess he hasn't been cut, so let's throw him in there. And if you'll notice, I'm doing so much. I'm doing so much armor in this list because armor at the moment just seems like far, far better. That's what I don't buy. Like, you're removing these data sheets because of balance reasons. Well, I don't know if I feel like 10th edition is balanced. Well, it's not, because look at my list. 2 Vindicators, a Repulsor, 2 Predators, a Gladiator Lancer. I'd probably field another Gladiator if I had it. Death Company, I had Incursors and Blade Guard inside my Repulsor. I guess there's no point me running a Rhino now. I don't think I've got anything that I could put in a Rhino. I suppose Devastators with Grav Cannons or something. I have Devastators with Las Cannons, but I don't have Devastators with Grav Cannons. I guess I need to check what Tycho can attach to now. But yeah, Tycho's lost a... The cool thing about Tycho was he was with the command squad, and I was saying just a few weeks ago, how cool is it that we get to play Tycho again and use these old models in the command squad? Well, apparently everything I said was rubbish. Tycho is not cool anymore. I don't even know where you find this in the app. He's a leader. So, assault squads are cut. Command squads are cut. So you can join a tactical squad or Vanguard veterans. Well, I don't have any Vanguard veterans without jump packs. At this point, I'm really, really worried for any other firstborn Marines. If they cut firstborn Death Company and firstborn Sanguinary Guard, I'm going to have no units left that are actually painted. Okay, I mean, I've got a load of battle line troops, assault intercessors, I've got them, I've got heavy intercessors. I don't think any of them are good in the current edition. So I'm not putting any of those in. I guess I'm keeping my Tech Marine because that makes sense. I probably have to remove the chaplain with jump pack because I could attach him to Vanguard veteran squad, But I don't think Vanguard veterans really do any damage. The reason to take the Assault Marines, who were 15 points cheaper, is the Assault Marines could do like 10 mortal wounds on the charge. I mean, you could run 5 Vanguard veterans with jump packs in a chaplain, but I don't know what they kill. Like, they're strength 5 minus 1 damage. Like, I really don't know what they kill. So I think I'm probably going to remove. It's annoying because I just sort of started to work out a list that could start winning things. I think you have to remove the chaplain of the jump pack. I don't see how you play him. I've just been saying as well, Tycho's gun is so cool. Tycho's gun is really, really cool. I was going to say, but Tycho can buff shooting units. The only unit he can go with now is a tactical squad. The command squad was so cool with him. You had like multiple infernal pistols, you had las cannons, you could make them all rapid fire. Now what, you can make bolters in a tactical squad, which are already rapid fire. I mean, okay, so we're dropping Tycho as well. So he was the last good Blood Angels character I feel like we had. Part of me thinks like maybe I should run Seth. Just, I know he's not technically Blood Angels, but at least he has a 3 damage melee weapon. No one else has got that, right? Because if I don't drop Seth, then I've got nothing. If I don't take Seth, I've got nothing to put in my Rhino. I think I do need a chaplain in this list though, because I feel like the Death Company Dreadnought, if you don't have a chaplain in your list, you're struggling. So the only squad I have that can attach a chaplain to then is like a Primaris chaplain. So I guess we would attach a Primaris chaplain. So he can attach to my 3 Death Company there. There is an argument to say that I could do more Death Company. I also thought my Incursors haven't really performed for me. The whole reason to take the Incursors was getting the +1 to hit. The thing is, I don't really need +1 to hit, because if I'm desperate for +1 to hit, I can get it from the Tet Marine. Most of the time I'm also using Oath of Moment. Every time I disembark the Incursors, they just get killed in like 1 turn. So maybe we just have to remove the Incursors. So at the moment, all I would have in the Repulsor then is 3 Blade Guard and a Chaplain, which would leave arguably just like, it's just 1 slot. It's just 1 slot too little to fit the Centurions at that point. Because I was thinking maybe Centurions in the Repulsor. But then I can't put my Chaplain in the Repulsor. I feel like I can't really run a Chaplain. I can't really run like a Chaplain on his own attached to nothing, because he'll just get killed. So maybe I do have to take the Jump Chaplain and 5 Vanguard Vets. I suppose the Jump Chaplain... Can a Jump Chaplain attach to Death Company? It's a good question. I actually don't know. You know, I've been working on another video about Chaplain with lethal hits and working out like lethal hits versus +1 to wound. What is better? Leader. So this model can attach to Vanguard veterans with jump packs, assault squads with jump packs. Alright, let me have a look at Death Company, because maybe there's something funny on the Death Company. If I was going to run Death Company Marines, it would be with jump packs, it would be a 5-man squad, it would be Infernal Pistols and Power Fists on everybody. And what does it actually say? Does it... If a Chaplain model from your army can be attached to an assault squad with jump pack, it can be attached to this unit instead. That's going to be really interesting when they deprecate the assault squad. But anyway, okay, so we can run 5 Death Company with the Chaplain. I guess they're starting in reserve. It's 40 points more. It's 40 points more than the Assault Marines. I guess you do have some power fit, like, potentially you have more damage output there, I guess, in that you can have 5 Infernal Pistols and you can have 5 Plasma Pistols. But I think the problem with infantry, or sorry, 5 Infernal Pistols and 5 Power Fists. The problem with infantry is they're just dying so darn fast that you don't really want to spend 155 points on 5, you know, like Marines, I guess, Whereas like well, 2 wound toughness 4 2 wound Marines die so quick, like so quick. So you don't want to spend too many points on that. But I guess if the assault squad's gone, I don't like Vanguard veterans. I just think their legacy weapon or their heirloom weapon is kind of terrible. So okay, so that's progress, I guess. We cut our command squad, we cut our assault Marines. We still have this Rhino we might need to cut unless we can fill it up. But if we have 3 Blade Guard and a Repulsor, then arguably we could put Centurions in a Repulsor. Now, I've tried Centurions just once, and I feel like they deserve another shot. I'm talking about Assault Centurions. I'm probably arming them with 5... Well, actually, I'll just arm them WYSIWYG how I've got them. So the way I have them is Twin Drills and... Sorry, Twin Flamer in the Siege Drills. And I guess... you can have one guy with the assault launchers and 2 guys with the bolters. What do the assault launchers actually give Centurions these days? I need to check what their assault launchers... I actually don't know what they do. He's got the grenades. Okay, so you can do grenades. You can spend 1 CP to do basically like, what, 3 mortal wounds? Maybe it's 4 mortal wounds on average. I guess if the Centurions for one... If I've got 1 CP lying around, 4 mortal wounds isn't the worst thing in the world. So yeah, sure, we'll give the Centurions, like... I guess the Sergeant can just lose his bolters and run assault launchers. Okay, so we get 2 with bolters. For the Death Company Dreadnought, I'm going to run double Heavy Flamer. And I'm going to tell you why in just 2 seconds. So lose the Meltagun, lose the Storm Bolter, run Heavy Flamer, Heavy Flamer. I'm also going to run the Magna Grapple, and we'll just keep the Twin Furioso Fists, because I think the extra strength of the fists is probably better than the Blood Talons. Okay, so what I had before was Tycho with the Command Squad, and the Chaplain with the 10 Jump Marines. Well, now we get the Chaplain with the 5 Death Company with the Jump Packs. We've added the Death Company Dreadnought, so at least we get 2 Blood Angels units in here. A lot of people have been flaming me, saying, like, am I even playing Blood Angels? Well, I played a win. And if Armor wins games, then I'll tweak my list. And I still have 2 Blood Angels units in there. I also have Assault Centurions, which you could argue are Blood Angels unit. I guess I've got no use for this Rhino. I feel a little bit sad about this. My Rhino's had, like, the last 2 games, the only 2 games it's had in about 7 years. So I get 2 games, and now I've got nothing good to put inside it. I don't think Tactical Squads and Rhinos are worth anything. The only thing I think you could put in Rhino maybe would be Seth with 5 Vanguard veterans without jump packs. And I think that would be fine. I just don't think I've got the points in this list for it. I'd have to lose the Death Company Dreadnought, and I have been wanting to add the Death Company Dreadnought just to give him a whirl, because I think he's pretty cool. One thing that I was going to say is that if you fight somebody with the Death Company Dreadnought, let's say you charge something with the Death Company Dreadnought and you leave it on 1 wound, and it's a tank that you're maybe confident can't really deal with the Death Company Dreadnought, and you return, once they attack you back, you can then, even as though it's their turn, you can then shoot out of combat. Or you could even shoot into combat as well. So you could shoot your double Heavy Flamer at another unit outside of combat when you're attacked. You can also try and just kill them in melee, which is fine as well. But yeah, okay, so I'm probably going to remove the Rhino. I feel a little bit sad, like I said. The Rhino has had its first games for me in a very long time. We could add Mephisto and Assault Intercessors. I did want to try that again, but again, they need a transport, and I guess to add a transport... The only way I could do Mephisto and Assault Intercessors would be to lose the Centurions. I think both might be okay, but I think the thing about Centurions is I think they can kill both. Like, they can kill tanks because they have twin-linked strength 10 weaponry. And then they can, double regular flamer and a bunch of bolter fire as well. I guess each Centurion has just 1 bolter, right? It's not like they have 2 bolters, right? Yeah, they have 1 bolter. So they get 3 bolter shots rapid fire, so 6 within 12 inches, and they're twin-linked. So 2 guys is actually giving you 12 shot. They're going to probably be within 12 inches because you're probably going to disembark them from the repulsor. I get Centurions might be more threatening in a Land Raider. I'm just not willing to pay 280 odd points for a Land Raider where, like, I'm just going to drive my repulsor right into the middle of the objective. So, right into the middle of the board. And I'm going to smoke screen it when they shoot my repulsor. And And I'm probably going to be in Gladiatus attachment, so my Centurions can advance and charge in turn 2 out of the repulsor. Or they might sit in it for a third turn. And, you know, it used to be a big deal if like a repulsor exploded or a transport exploded and you took a bunch of mortal wounds. Well, even if you rolled all 6s from the explosion now for the Centurions, you aren't killing a single model, because they got 4 wounds per guy. You'd only be rolling 3 dice, so even if you failed and rolled 3 6s if your transport exploded, you know, you're not losing a Centurion. This might all backfire on me, but this is just what my thinking is right now. I've got a bunch of dreadnoughts I could add. The problem is I think the Brutalis dreadnought is too expensive. I kind of think the Death Company dreadnought's too expensive as well, but I've included them. I think probably the Furioso dreadnought's too expensive. I definitely think the Redemptor, which is a dreadnought that I actually have 3 of, I think they're too expensive as well. So at this point with 205 points, and I'm not picking anything that's like, I'd like some land speeders. I'm not picking them because they're not viable anymore. I don't mind the Whirlwind, but I'm not in love with it. I guess I could take one of those new Terminator squads for 205 points. I did that with Chain Fists, and I played Knights, and they didn't do barely anything. So I'm a little bit hesitant to pick them again. Scout Snipers, they were great. They were really, really useful. I thought they were going to be a really top-level unit in 10th edition, but I guess you're not playing them anymore. I wanted to run my Ironclad. I've finished painting it now, or it's 99% painted, but it's not competitive now, so I guess I'm not running it. Inceptors, I did want to try Inceptors because I think 3 of them dropping down could be cool. I've only got 205 points here. I don't really want to mess with too much of the armor because I feel like you need a lot of armor to win games. I did just make a Ballistus Dreadnought, 170 points. You know, I could take the Ballistus Dreadnought in the Exaction squad. You know what, I need to try the Ballistus Dreadnought. The other thing I was thinking I could take was Predator and not Annihilator. A Battle Predator, because Battle Predators are very good at killing infantry. I think the problem is, as good as they are at killing infantry, a lot of people are moving away from infantry because they see infantry just getting desolated. I know that like into certain armies as well, mortal wounds are a huge problem. So you could argue that you could take like the Librarian Dreadnought to try and protect against mortal wounds, but 5 up against mortal wounds in a small aura around a Dreadnought that can be shot and killed from, because you're not a character anymore, I'm not really sure is worth it. I'm not really sure these Centurions are worth it, but yeah, I guess I was going to say let's do Ballistus Dreadnought and let's do Exaction Squad because that will come in right on 2,000 points. And perfect. Okay, so what infantry have we got in this list? We've got the Exaction Squad. We've got 5 Death Company with Power Fists. We got 3 Centurions with the drills. We got 3 Blade Guard veterans. We got a Tech Marine and a Chaplain. That's it. So last week, my list last week was like 1,200 points of armor. And I was wondering if that was enough. So what actually is to start on the board here? None of it, right? Maybe we deploy this Exaction Squad on my home field objective, so I have something that can sit in cover, hopefully obscured, and hold my home field objective, and that cost me 35 points. Both Vindicators can start on the board. The Repulsor will start with the Blade Guard and Centurions forward, and it's definitely going to make an advance move and be able to shoot because of Devastator Doctrine. We get 2 Predators. We get the Lancer. Death Company Dreadnought will be in Strategic Reserve, so it can come in and try and make a 7-inch charge. I guess we start with the Ballistus Dreadnought on the board as well. It's got like 48-inch range, I think. I think it's 48-inch. Yeah, and the interesting thing about it is Crack Missile is strength 10, so that's not too bad. And it gets an ability where it re-rolls ranged attacks against targets that are not below half strength. So I guess when you're shooting at high toughness, or when you're making that first shot, you're going to get to re-roll your hits. 2 shots on the last cannon, 2 shots on the Crack Missile. Yes, you got some bolters if you ever get into melee. Not super important. The toughness 10, 2-up save. And this Dreadnought for 170 points maybe seems okay. I don't get why the Redemptor and the Brutalis are both 50 points more, because they have the same profile. So you're telling me that a plasma cannon or a Redemptor that literally wounds no armor in the game, and a fist that only helps you if you manage to get across the entire board to get to that armor, which is very, very difficult, is going to cost 50 points? I guess it's got -1 damage, but when I played my... -1 damage doesn't really help when you get hit with a friggin' what is it called? A heavy laser destroyer that does 9 damage. -1 damage is kind of irrelevant at that point. And it's -4, so you only save that on 6s. And the Brutalis Dreadnought's even worse, right? It's only got like 18-inch multi-meltas. And it's got no -1 damage. And you've got to get across the whole board, which I've just said is impossible in the current meta with everybody running a million las cannons and tons of armor. So I'll run the Ballistus Dreadnought. So this is a Blood Angels list. Do not flame me. This is a Blood Angels list because look, there are 2 Blood Angels Death Company units in this. It's becoming exceedingly hard to field Blood Angels units, and I'm so worried about the Firstborn Blood Angel stuff because, do you know what? I'll put on screen just now what got removed today or yesterday. What got removed from the Firstborn, and it's so many units. Like, I have so many of each of these units, you know, like, I have 3 attack bikes, I have like 2 or 3 land speeders, I have 25 scouts. You know, like, we could go through, I think I counted on this list, I have 11 of the 13 things that are there. So that combined with the Forge World stuff being cut. Space Marines are, like, buy more gladiators, guys, I guess. But I'm worried about those Lancers, because I think Lancers are probably too powerful and they're going to go up in points. I'm at a loss now. I don't know what to model. I really don't want to model anything else that's just going to get... I was going to say, I don't want to model anything else that's going to get... that I'm going to waste my next 6 weeks, 8 weeks on to see it go into Legends. Like I said, I'm not even supposed to be here today. This is not a day I make videos, but here is a bonus video about trying to make a list, because I'm not interested. I'm literally not interested in stuff that's not competitive. I don't know why they wouldn't. I think the reason that they've done the breakdown is because if they said all these Firstborn units and all the Forge World stuff were going into Legends at the same time, people would be really angry, because people already were angry. But all it's done for me is it's like, I was angry, I got over it. Now I'm not angry anymore. I'm just worried. I'm worried for Firstborn Marines. They're being culled aggressively, and I don't hate Primaris. Like, if you actually work it out, I probably am one of the people that has the most Primaris models. You know, like, I ran 3 Redemptors last edition. I've been running Blade Guard for forever. I have so many Blade Guard. I swear by them. I just made a video last week on how good I think Blade Guard are and why you should run them. In some ways, I might even reiterate this list and bring in, like, I did think about, for almost the same points, I could put 9 Blade Guard, 3 squads of 3 into the Repulsor. I could maybe even attach 1 character or something, and that would be cool. Why can Mephisto not attach the Blade Guard? That's stupid. You know, so I think I must have, like, I've got multiple squads of Assault Intercessors, I've got multiple squads of Infiltrators, Incursors, I think I said already Redemptors, Suppressors, Inceptors. Like, I have so many Primaris models. My lists usually are like 50-50, but like I feel like we're getting squeezed. Like, I'm struggling to find good options to round out my list now, and I really dislike, like, I guess a good example would be like Primaris Death Company, right? Like, or Outriders. Like, I looked at my Outriders the other day and thought, I want to try Outriders, but then I remember that they've got no weapon options. Literally none. They just have the chainsword and bolt pistols, and I'm like, well, I know in 10th edition chainswords are literally, they're not garbage, but you're you know, you're going to be lucky if you've got chain swords, if you ever get a wound roll less than a 6, maybe you can get some 5s, but even like heavy infantry, you're going to wound on 5s now. Outriders don't, like, let's check. Outriders don't get nearly enough attacks. So Space Marine range update, bikes, land speeders, and more are zooming off into the sunset. And this was what they posted. So attack bikes, I've got those. Bikes, I've got those. Scout bikes, I actually don't have those. Land speeders, I don't have a stalker and a hunter, but I do have ironclads, assault marines, the command squad, the scouts with sniper rifles, librarian, the tech marine, and the thunderfire cannon. I have a lot of stuff here. So this is all gone. I guess it is what it is. What did they say though? Let's have a look. A new edition is finally with us, and that means a new Space Marine Codex is looming. The Space Marine range is already huge, so to make room for a glorious new miniatures, we're letting some of the longest serving kits depart. The full list is below. Fans of Firstborn Marines should know no fear, though. Contrary to heretical whispers in the noosphere, they're not being erased from the 41st millennium. The new Space Marine Codex still include plenty of the non-Primaris units, if that's your preference. Tactical squads will still be driving around in rhinos, fighting under the cover of Devastator squads, and so on. So I guess some people do run Devastator squads. As a competitive player, I have not seen a tactical squad in a competitive game in the entire time I've been back playing Warhammer, and that's coming on like 7 or 8 years now. I don't know what I mean by that, but like, I don't know. I don't know. Many departing units have a contemporary analog that you can use instead. So the storied bike squad that has served you and the Emperor for 20 years could stay in your army using the rules for Outriders. I mean, that's a slight saving grace. You can use your bikes as Outriders. I really don't know how TOs are going to... Bikes have tiny little bases. Outriders have giant bases. I'm not sure how that's going to work unless you're going to stick your bike on a giant base. In other cases, their data sheets should fit the bill, so while assault squads are going away, you can still use the rules for Vanguard vets to play with them. And I read this, and I think this is the thing that I'm the most worried about. The options for Primaris Marines suck. I'm just going to come out and say it. They suck, right? Like, it's like, you can have a squad with all... Like, those new Infernal Flamer guys... Infernus Marines, I've got 10 of them. Maybe even have more. I actually don't even know how many you got in the Leviathan box set. I literally couldn't care about them at all. Five guys with no weapon options and just a flamer. You know, the Assault Squad, which you can now run as Vanguard veterans, well, Assault Squad have cool options at the moment, right? You can have 2 guys with meltguns. You can have 2 guys with flamers. You can have 2 guys with eviscerators. Vanguard veterans, you've got none of that. They all just have the same melee weapon. And this is the problem, I think. They're trying to make it that everybody just has the same weapons. But why? I don't understand, because like, you have an Eldar aspect, an aspect warrior that can kill a whole squad of Marines. Right? Like, they have crazy weapons, like the twin swords or whatever, you know? And it's like, Marines can take a Thunderhammer that... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to stop filming because I have nothing positive to say about this. I've made my list. I've cut the Firstborn. Was there hints in here? Some departing units like Thunderhammers or Land Speeders that won't have an appropriate analogue in the new Codex, but the rules will shift into Legends. So I guess if you care about Legends... you can still play them. But you can't use them in competitive Warhammer events, and in most cases, the rules will just be the same that were in the recent index cards. And I actually thought the rules were pretty good in some of those recent index cards. I've been singing their praises and saying this is bringing back units that no one was playing about. And isn't that not cool? You can last chance to buy these. Stay tuned to Warhammer community for the more. But I think people always ask me like how we should get started, what we should buy next. be very, very wary of buying any more firstborn stuff. I feel like I'm not doing it at all now. I already feel like I'm not buying any more Forge World stuff because I'm not willing to pay 200 and some pounds on a tank to just be told that I can't use that tank anymore. Now I'm thinking, I mean, I literally just have one of these guys who's at 90%. I've never even run him. The only thing I was thinking today was like, I guess I could rip off his right arm and probably find a spare Death Company Dreadnought arm and cobble them together as a Death Company Dreadnought that is painted red because he's been painted red, I guess. Yeah, so I guess you're going to take wins where you can take the wins. I do wonder if people would let me proxy Invader ETVs as land attack bikes, because I'll feel very sad about throwing my attack bikes away. Yeah. And what's more is loads of people are saying scouts with sniper rifles are really cool in 10th edition. Well, I guess as long as you don't want to play in a tournament, they're cool. Alright, that is it for this video. There'll be more positive videos that I've actually filmed coming out before this announcement, and by the time I film my tactics video next week, I'll have got over this. It does actually beg the question, though. Is now in 10th edition, is Gabriel Seth literally the best Blood Angels character? I know he's not technically Blood Angels, but he does have a Blood Angels keyword now. And if you take him, you can't take any of the other characters. But he's the only one with a 3 damage weapon. I guess he's the only one that could ride in a Rhino. So maybe he is cool. I thought he was cooler when he could join by Assault Marines, but I guess that's gone now. It's getting this is very frustrating, man. Like, hopefully this video was as positive as it could be. We got rid of the Marines, and thanks for sticking around to the end. Let me know down below what you think about these changes. Are you happy? Is there anything that you're loath to lose? I know Highland Phoenix was just working on a 3 command squads. So Highland Phoenix, leave me a comment. How do you feel about your 3 command squad list? Are you still going to try and play it, or are you like me and you're going to just not because it's not competitive? Oh, what a tough week. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you next video. Peace.